UIM ABP Aquabike World Championship headed to Olbia on the Italian island of Sardinia, where notoriously rough water conditions awaited as round 2 of the 2018 season got underway with a Grand Prix of Mediterranean. There were 149 riders from 30 countries competing in Olbia in an action-packed event spread out over various categories. Besides the ski division GP1 and ladies ski GP1 were the Ski GP2 and Ski GP3 events, not to mention freestyle, runabout GP1, runabout GP2, and runabout GP4. In this program, we bring you all the ski action from round 2. The coastal city of Olbia is one of the most beautiful corners of the Mediterranean island of Sardinia. Situated in the northeast of the island, Olbia is a classic beach town with sun, sea, and sand that attracts visitors and holiday makers to this idyllic location year-round. But it's also a place with a very ancient and illustrious history that goes back thousands of years and spans many different cultures and epochs, all represented in the varied architecture of the old city quarters till this day. Crowning the city center of Olbia is the impressive San Simplicio Basilica, which is surrounded by a lively town square. This is a city with no shortage of incredible views and vistas, as the city and the surrounding countryside, beaches, islets, and distant hills all make for one of the most lovely settings in the Mediterranean. It was the perfect setting for the UIM ABP Aquabike World Tour as the island welcomed the Aquabike family. Known for its choppy and rough open water conditions, the Olbia circuit is a small, tight, technical, and very demanding one, where experience and physical stamina will be key.
Yeah, today it's a special race course. It's very different than last week. We have a short race course with a short track, big wave. When we start, it's flat, but after a few laps, the wave is coming because one jet ski pass and the wave go against the wall and the wave is coming back. So we have to be focused, no mistake. The people who is going to win the race is the people who don't do mistakes. So you have to be very strong. Be careful and smart to do a good race.
After a thrilling opening round at the Grand Prix of Italy in Gallipoli, the Ski Division GP1 will see a resumption of the rivalry between Raphael Morin and Kevin Ryder. With a moto win apiece in round 1 and both riders on 45 points in the championship standings, all eyes are on these two as they rekindle their on-water battle.
Yeah, I won last race. It was the really hard condition. I was not the fastest, but I don't mistake. And yes, now I'm first in the championship. It's new race, new condition, and I keep focused on the championship, not on the race. So I will race like I know, and we'll see what happens.
Grand Prix of Italy champion Raphael Morin aims for 2 Grand Prix wins in a row, while former world champion and round 1 runner-up Kevin Ryder will be looking to get his first Grand Prix win of the season.
Yeah, last race was good. Second moto, I made too many mistakes, missed too much buoys, pressed too hard, and that cost me any chances of passing Raphael. But I feel good, I feel confident for this one. The track is nice, it's gonna get rough, it's gonna be hard, and I think it's gonna be hell of a fight.
But Morin and Ryder will have a formidable field of riders to deal with, not least of which is defending world champion Quentin Bosch of Belgium. He wants to make up for a disappointing round 1 where he failed to get on the podium. And then there are the Perret brothers. Round 1 podium placer and 2-time world champion Michael Perret is back in action, and so are his brothers Morgan Perret and 4-time world champion Jeremy Perret after having missed round 1. All three Poirets will be racing their Bullet V3s against the might of the Kawasaki's. Also in the mix are the likes of Stan Shetline, the super consistent Norwegian, always a contender and looking to continue his climb in the series as he pursues that first ever Grand Prix title. Ski Division GP1 Moto 1 at Olbia was on as riders completed their customary parade lap to greet the crowds and warm up their engines ahead of the battle to come. The man who produced the fastest lap time in qualifying was Kevin Ryder, the Austrian in pole position for the running start with Quentin Bosch in P2, Jeremy Perret in P3, surprise name Lucas Pinar of Czechia in P4, then Grand Prix of Italy winner Rafael Moran in P5, followed by Shetline, Morgan Perret and Michael Perret. The riders in position, waiting for the flag. There they go. Ryder on the blue victory ski in pole position with the inside-most lane. Great start from Ryder, and also a great start from Jeremy Perret, the four-time world champion, right there, pulling ahead of the 2015 world champion from Austria. Despite missing out on round one, it's still early days yet, and Jeremy Perret wants to see if he can manage to get his campaign for a fifth world title off to a good start here in round two. Jeremy Perret opens a handy little lead as he leads the field around the hole shots. Kevin Ryder is right up there with Jeremy Perret, trying to wrest the lead from his erstwhile nemesis as they enter the split course. Jeremy Perret in the green, Kevin Ryder in the blue track. It's Kevin Ryder. The Austrian is faster than Perret. He takes the lead from the Frenchman. The positions, Kevin Ryder in the lead, Jeremy Perret bumped down to second, then defending world champion Quentin Bosch, followed by round one winner Rafael Moran, Michael Perret fifth, and Stan Shetline in sixth. But there's also a host of talented riders behind the lead skis, names like Estonians Martin Manni and Markus Lutzekert, and also Ulrik Berntsen of Norway. In lap one, Stan Shetline overhauls two-time world champion Michael Perret. Shetline moves up into fifth. Now there's a three-way tussle between Jeremy Perret and Rafael Moran in the green track of the split course and Quentin Bosch in the blue course. It's very tight. Jeremy Perret comes out in the lead, but only just. Quentin Bosch is breathing down Perret's neck with Moran right behind them, but no change in positions. Back in the parallel split course on lap 6, the three riders go at it again. Quentin Bosch in the blue track and Jeremy Perret and Rafael Moran in the green. Perret keeps his lead, but as they come out of the alternate track, Bosch and Jeremy Perret collide. Bosch still up and running, but Perret in the water and out of the race. Jeremy Perret has an injury. He doesn't continue as he's taken off the course. Here's the replay. Jeremy Perret turns suddenly into Quentin Bosch's path, and collision seemed unavoidable. That moved Bosch into second and Moran into third, but one lap later Quentin Bosch went for the penalty buoy, which gave Rafael Moran his opportunity to pass the Belgian and move into second position. It's now Quentin Bosch chasing Moran, the Grand Prix of Italy champion. In the final 3 laps, Kevin Ryder is sailing to a comfortable 20-second lead with Rafael Moran in second position. Ryder negotiating his way through the back markers, and that pretty much concludes this race. Kevin Ryder is running to a comfortable second moto win out of 3 races this year. Great results for both Ryder and Victory Team. Meanwhile, Quentin Bosch continues to chase Rafael Moran to see if he still has a shot at wresting second position from the Frenchman. And that seals it for Ryder. The Austrian has been impeccable all race, and what a well-deserved win for the Victory Team Ryder as he cruises home for a comfortable win.
Yeah, I feel great, came out with a good start, could make the pass for the lead in the first lap, and yeah, led the race till then and could control the race. So I'm super happy with how the first race went, and I'm just doing my best to get another win.
Rafael Moran finishes runner-up ahead of third-placed Quentin Bosch. Fourth place goes to Stan Shetline. Michael Perret fifth, ahead of his brother Morgan in sixth, with Ulrik Berntsen finishing seventh. That puts Kevin Ryder 5 points clear atop the world standings over Rafael Moran, as riders now focus on Moto 2 and the Grand Prix of Mediterranean titles. GP1, things got off to a very dramatic start in round one as defending world champion Eminelli Ortendahl kicked her 2018 campaign off with a moto win. But then she was shocked to find herself beaten by Krista Uzare of Latvia, who won Moto 2 and her first ever Grand Prix title in Gallipoli.
That race was awesome. I was so happy. Of course, I was expecting it. That's what we train for. But when it actually happens, you're still really, really happy. And for this one, I actually got the red bib, first time in my life. And I really want to hold it to myself, so I will do as much as I can.
With both riders on 45 points apiece in the World Championship standings, their rivalry resumes in the waves off Olbia, where the one who can handle the rough conditions will have the advantage.
In this race, the second one here in Olbia, I will be aiming for the top spot on the podium, of course. And these conditions really, they're good for me, and not so big waves. So I will take my Pro Force and ride this as hard as I can.
Once again, it's a field packed with talent as 13 riders vie for the Grand Prix of the Mediterranean. Round 1 podium placer Estonian Katrine Nilbe is joined by her Estonian compatriot Jasmine Praus, who also made a promising start to the year in Gallipoli. Kylie Elmers of New Zealand is also always a threat out there, as are the Borgstrom sisters, Jonna back from injury and trying to recover her 2017 form, while her younger sibling Sophie aims to leave her mark on the series with some podium results. In the qualifying time trials for ladies Ski GP1 Moto 1, Eminelli Ortendahl got the better of Krista Uzare. The defending world champion would start in pole position for the first race of the Grand Prix of Mediterranean in Olbia. Uzare would start in P2 next to Ortendahl, then Katrine Nilbe P3, Molly Fern in P4, and Jonna Borgstrom in P5 as 13 riders completed their parade lap and lined up for the running start to Moto 1. The Swedish world champion leading the field ahead of Latvian rider Krista Uzare and Molly Fern, who's moving up to challenge them. Ortendahl smooth in through the whole shots, taking early command of the race as Krista Uzare gives chase. Smooth open waters ahead of Ortendahl, who's on equal 45 points in the world standings with Uzare, so this race would determine who gets the points for a clear world title lead. At the end of the first lap, it's Ortendahl opening her early lead, but with Krista Uzare giving chase in second, then Molly Fern third, followed by Jonna Borgstrom in fourth, and then Katrine Nilbe has fallen back to fifth, but she's pushing to catch up with Borgstrom. In a fight for sixth position, Kylie Elmers comes in tight on the inside as she collides with number 64 Jasmine Praus of Estonia. Here's the replay. Both go for a swim. On lap 4, Katrine Nilbe's efforts pay off as she finally catches up with Jonna Borgstrom and then passes her to move up into fourth and set her sights on Molly Fern in third. Ortendahl is leading, the conditions getting very rough, and a huge wave throws Eminelli Ortendahl off her ski, and that's all Krista Uzare needed to speed past the struggling Swede. There were no further obstacles to Uzare. Grand Prix of Italy winner Krista Uzare continues her excellent start to the season with a Moto 1 win at the Grand Prix of the Mediterranean. Eminelli Ortendahl finishes runner-up. Third place goes to Molly Fern in just her third race in the UIM ABP series. Fourth place goes to Katrine Nilbe, then Jonna Borgstrom, fifth, followed by Jessica Chavan of France in sixth.
I just won again. I don't know. That's so weird, but I told this feels like home. That's why I felt like home. And you know, you feel good. Really happy.
After the first day of racing, crowds and riders got to experience the thrill of the parallel slalom night show, where ski and runabout aces went head-to-head in a thrilling elimination-style showdown. In the ski men's, Mikael Poré got past Stadshed line in the semis before beating his brother Morgan in the final. While in the ladies, Eminelli Ortendahl first defeated newcomer Molly Fern of the UK, and then she beat Jasmine Praus in the final to take the slalom win.
I'm gonna take it all the way when I hear the music play, 'cause baby I can
Besides the ski division GP1 were the GP2 and GP3 World Championships.
Show me what you got, 'cause the floor is
The GP2 event saw Benjamin Scharf of France produce a brilliant win in all three motos to claim the world title ahead of runner-up Andreas Thiessen of Denmark and Preston Matsdorf of the USA third. While in GP3, it was Hungarian Barnabas Szabo who pulled off wins in Motos 2 and 3 to take the top step ahead of runner-up Maxime Faizi of France and Salman Alawadi of the UAE. Ski ladies Moto 2, it was game on as Moto 1 runner-up Emanelli Ortendal sought to overturn her loss to Moto 1 winner Krista Uzare as the rivalry between these two world standings leaders continued. Moto 2 was on. Rough start for Ortendal, but just look at Katrine Nilbe. Great timing and pace from the get-go as Nilbe leads the field to the hole shots. Her fellow Baltic rider and pole sitter Krista Uzare right up there with her, chasing the surprise race leader from Estonia as they enter the alternate split course in these rough conditions that are perfectly suited to the Baltic racers. At the end of lap 1, Katrine Nilbe leads ahead of Krista Uzare, and now it's Jonna Borgstrom in third position, followed by Molly Fern. Ortendal not even in the top 3, the defending world champion struggling back there in Moto 2. In a battle for 5th, Kylie Elmers tries to get past Virginie Morlaich of France, but Morlaich hangs in there and holds off the New Zealander. Morlaich remains in 5th. Way back in 7th position is Emanelli Ortendal. It's been a terrible start for her as she tries to fight her way up the field. Meanwhile, Krista Uzare is trying to find a way to catch Katrine Nilbe and take the lead, but Nilbe is just too fast, relishing the choppy waters and big waves here off Olbia. Uzare tries to get past Nilbe in the split course, but Nilbe is too good, too fast, too focused. In third place is Jonna Borgstrom, looking like she's getting over her injury and finding the form she had in 2017. And then in 4th, it's British newcomer Molly Fern. Ortendal's attack is bearing fruit as she has already moved up 2 spots and into 5th place. She's setting her sights on breaking that top 3. She has the momentum, the speed, and the determination to do it. And on lap 7, Ortendal overhauls Molly Fern, bumping the Brit down a notch to 5th as Ortendal is now just outside the top 3. And sure enough, coming out of the alternate course in the same lap, Ortendal also passes her fellow Swede Jonna Borgstrom as Ortendal moves into 3rd position behind Krista Uzare. What a race from Katrine Nilbe. The Estonian records her first ever UIM ABP Moto win with a brilliant start to finish romp. Krista Uzare runner-up and Ortendal finishes 3rd. That runner-up finish is all Uzare needs to claim her 2nd Grand Prix title in a row. 4th place in Moto 2 goes to Jonna Borgstrom, who edges out Molly Fern in 5th, while Kylie Elmers gets in there in 6th.
I don't know, I have no words. It was so hard, but now it's done.
In the final Grand Prix standings, the Grand Prix of the Mediterranean winner is Krista Uzare. Katrine Nilbe is Grand Prix runner-up, and Ortendal finishes 3rd on the podium. It's quite a rivalry that's shaping up between Uzare Ortendal and now Katrine Nilbe.
I feel really good, really good. I guess I really like this bib. It's red and I want to keep it to myself. So I'm really happy for the next GPs and ready to race again. Can't wait already.
The world standings after round 2 in Olbia, Krista Uzare on top with 90 points, 9 up on Emanelli Ortendal in 2nd. Katrine Nilbe moves up to 3rd on 67 points, ahead of 4th place Molly Fern and Yasmina Praus in 5th. After a big win in Moto 1, Kevin Ryder was the man with a target on his back as Rafael Morin and Quinten Bosch sought to strike back and beat the Austrian in Moto 2. The riders line up for the Moto 2 running start, and the race is on. Great start from Quinten Bosch and Michael Porret leading the field. Kevin Ryder on pole, catching up with them as Rafael Morin also tries to keep up. Michael Poré is flying on that starting straightaway to the hole shots. Quentin Bosch just a nose behind the Frenchman as Kevin Ryder drops back to third behind the two lead riders as they turn through the hole shots and into the circuit on the start lap of this 15-minute plus 1 lap race. But Quentin Bosch manages to get past Michael Poré and leads the field into the alternate split course. Behind Bosch is Kevin Ryder on the blue victory ski, and then Michael Poré, Bosch in the blue track. Quentin Bosch opens that lead further at the front of the field as the defending world champion is chased by Ryder in second and two-time world champion Michael Poré in third, Raphael Morin fourth, Stan Shetline fifth. Behind the fronton of four, it's Morgan Poré chasing in sixth, then Pierre Gilbert in seventh, followed by Martin Manni of Estonia, and then Norwegians Ulrik Berntsson and Daniel Sve Andersen. Estonian rider Markus Lutzekert is having problems out there trying to get back into the race, but he's out and appears to have an injury. In lap 4, Raphael Morin senses his chance and makes a move on Michael Poré, trying to wrest the top 3 position from his fellow Frenchman as he zeroes in on Poré. As Morin and Michael Poré lock horns, it's Morin who finds the power to get past Michael Poré in a Kawasaki versus Bullet V3 duel. Raphael Morin moves up into third, Michael Poré down to fourth. Meanwhile, Quentin Bosch maintains his lead over Kevin Ryder as the two negotiate their way through the back markers, a tricky endeavor in rough waters and a crowded circuit. But there's another story out there. Quentin Bosch has incurred a 15-second penalty which will be deducted from his result post-race, which means if Ryder can keep the gap between them below 15 seconds, the Austrian will be the winner of Moto 2 and the Grand Prix of Mediterranean. Conditions get choppier and choppier as Preston Matsdorf of the US takes a little tumble, followed by Polish rider Kasper Kania, who nearly loses his balance but manages to stay up and continues to give chase to the American. Stan Shetline has rekindled the rivalry with Michael Poré from the day before, where the two interchanged positions 3 times through the race. Shetline again on Michael Poré's tail here, trying to make a move into fourth. Kevin Ryder goes for the penalty buoy for a missed turn, but he holds on to second behind Quentin Bosch. Raphael Morin not close enough in third position to get past Ryder. But just as Shetline was hoping to get past Michael Poré, another Poré, Morgan, comes up from behind and zips past the young Norwegian, bumping Shetline down to fifth. Morgan Poré moving up into fourth behind his brother Michael. Another tumble on that long rough straightaway. This time it's Gabor Szabo of Hungary, who was in fine form in the second half of last season, trying to find his bearings out there in Moto 2 now in Olbia as his ski gets away from him, but he's back up and running. Quentin Bosch, start to finish leader of the race, comes through the checkered flag first, but that 15-second penalty will bump him down to runner-up as Kevin Ryder completes a clean sweep of the Grand Prix of Mediterranean, winning a first Grand Prix for Victory Team. Raphael Morin nabs third place. Kevin Ryder caps off a brilliant weekend, winning both motos and the qualifying in an outstanding performance for the Victory Team rider. Grand Prix of Mediterranean win goes to Kevin Ryder. Grand Prix runner-up is Quentin Bosch. Third on the podium is Raphael Morin.
Yeah, racing was good. I got off to a good start, second out of the gate, and then just tried to be patient and without mistakes behind Quentin, because I knew if I kept my position I would go for the overall win. And yeah, I tried that. I tried to push a little bit too hard, missed the buoy, and then just played it safe till the finish.
That win moves Kevin Ryder further ahead in the world standings after round 2, 14 points clear of Raphael Morin in second, Michael Poré in third on 53 points, just 1 point ahead of Quentin Bosch in fourth, and Stan Shetline fifth. And And that concludes an action-packed Grand Prix of Mediterranean in Olbia, Sardinia, with some of the best racing on water, not to mention the parties, shows, fun, and festivities that go with the UIM ABP lifestyle. See you in China for round 3.